So we're going to synchronize the carbs. And so what we do is we've got the throttle rods and we screw them up and down through the throttle arm here to adjust the actual height of the throttle valves. And so they're all identical, so that when we open the throttle, they all open at the same time, same amount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust them so I can just see the bottom of the throttle valve opening. You need to look in from the back, from the engine side, because you've got the cutaway the other side, so you can't really see. So I'm going to adjust them so they just can just see a little gap, an even gap at the bottom of each throttle slide. Okay, I've done that. I don't know how well you can see, but so I've adjusted them so I can just see. I've just opened they just open. They're just on open, and that's set with these throttle rods. And so then I'm going to put the locking nuts, these locking nuts back on the top of the throttle rods, so lock everything in position, and that's the carbs synchronized, ready to go. Put that back on. Okay, and I think carbs are sorted. I think, yeah. Oh yeah. One thing to do is to always check these rubber sort of manifolds where this joins onto the on the manifolds on the back of the cylinder head, and they're really prone to delaminating, cracking, and then obviously you'll get an air leak. And I think certainly some of the modern ones you can buy, the repros ones you can buy, are rubbish, and they do break up really quickly. These I can't remember where I got them from, probably LP Williams, I'm not sure, but these, these are good quality and they're not showing any signs of splitting or delaminating, so that's good. But always check those whenever you take your carbs off. Okay, ready to just put them back on the bike. They simply just slide on to the manifolds, 3 Jubilee clips, tighten them up, reconnect the throttle cable, and we're sorted. Oh yes, one other thing to mention, I have this manual tickover adjuster from Clive Scarfe Systems. Clive Scarfe Systems, you can find him on the internet, and he makes lots of bespoke parts for the for Tridents and other bikes, mainly in stainless steel. And this I can adjust the tickover by just by hand while I'm on the move, because the actual tickover adjustment on a T160 is the original one is a total nightmare to get to, A, and B, I think it is a common problem, is that the tickover, certainly to date, my tickover varies every time I stop. I come to a set of lights and the engine will die, and then I'll come to a set of lights and it will decide to run at 1,000 revs. And I think it is difficult, not just my bike. I think it is difficult to try and get them to tick over steadily. So this is really good. So I can just lean down, especially when that bike's hot. It ticks over. I think, is it faster or slower? I can't remember them when it's cold. So hopefully with the carbs properly adjusted, it won't be so sensitive. But it's a nice little modification, especially on the T160. The T150s are better, but the T160, to actually adjust the tickover is, you need a spanner poked in there. It's a total pain. So that's a nice little modification to have. Right, there we are. Carbs back on the bike. I put the bell mast back on, and then we just put them on. Made sure that these Jubilee clips are done up really tight. They do just slide on, and once, many years ago, I think I was messing about with the carbs a lot of times, and I put them back on and taken them off, one thing and another. And I'm riding along, and the carbs actually slid off the manifolds. So do make sure. Normally, with the air filter behind, they can't slide off. So, but still make sure they're done up nice and tight. The other thing to notice is I've got the main oil feed up to the rockers and the HT leads. And what I've done is I've strapped them up out of the way to make sure that they don't interfere with the throttle bar. Okay, So just some, silly little thing like that, and suddenly you find it hard to get full throttle because, it can be the pipe or the HTLs or something is actually, stopping the throttle bar from going up. New plugs in. Oh, original. Oh, nice. I've got my original exhaust rocker box cover on, tappet cover. So that's nice. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is, or next, put the tank back on. We'll start it up and see how it's going. And then, but then I've got some other jobs. I've got to service the bike, do an oil change and stuff. But also, I'm going to take the primary off because I think I'm getting a leak from the primary, and so I'm unsure. But anyway, I think I am getting a leak, so I'll do it now, get it done, and rather than do all this, get it on the road, and it's still not quite right. So I'm going to take the primary off and have a look, see what I think. Maybe the oil seal that goes through into the clutch is gone, and there seems to be a bit of oil coming out of the clutch, which should be dry. So anyway, I'm going to do that. But anyway, we'll start it up. Well, try and start it, check that it's all running okay, and then I'll probably drain the oil, ready for the oil change, and then we'll take the primary off and just check. I'm going to replace the oil seals and that in there, and just check everything's okay. Anyway, rocker box and carbs done. Tick.